Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 31st August 2022. So let's get started with our discussion. And today is Ganesh Chaturthi. So I wish you, all of you, a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi. So let us try to see quote. So quote is motivational quote today. So quote says that fortune is the one who has learned to admire but not to envy. So try to admire things rather than envy the things. Envy means unhappy, disappointment, etc. Okay. So fortunate is the one who has learned to admire but not to envy. So this is the quote, and try to see the first article. So first article here, it is about Pegasus. So actually this Pegasus, it is a spyware. So actually from 2020, that is from the October, November 2020 onwards, so we are discussing about this Pegasus issue. So now let us try to understand this topic, and this topic is important from our security point of view, which comes under our GS paper 3. So now let us try to understand first what is Pegasus. So what are the dimensions that you have to think? So first you have to think about what is this Pegasus. So what is a threat? Why we are saying that this Pegasus is insecure? And we have to know about some international organizations, so how they are tackling with this security issues. So this is the third dimension. So apart from that, you have to also think about, so recently what Supreme Court said. Okay, so actually Supreme Court came up with a committee to look after this Pegasus issue, and out of those about 29 mobile phones they checked, and out of this just 5 mobile phones they detected malware, and they said that it is not exactly because of Pegasus. So now let us try to see what is this Pegasus first. So actually this Pegasus, it is a spyware, and who developed this Pegasus? That is NSO group, that is from Israeli. So Israeli surveillance came up with this Pegasus spyware, and in 2019, so WhatsApp firm in US court, because of this WhatsApp sue in this US court, so that led to the limelight of this Pegasus issue. And in July 2021, here Amnesty International, not only Amnesty International but even 13 media outlets across the globe, they released a report that there was some spyware that is attacking these mobile phones. And because of that, it is snooping hundreds of individuals, including Indians. So in that spyware, so which attack the mobile phones, so those also include Indians. So this is the report. And next one here is NSO, which mainly says that this spyware will be sold only to the governments but not other individuals. Okay, so this is about some background regarding what exactly is this Pegasus. And now let us try to understand why this Pegasus is harmful, why it is lethal. So if you're talking about why it is harmful, because of the first one here is, so whenever any mobile phone, so if your mobile phone is attacked with this Pegasus spyware, then your mobile phone intercept, okay, so whenever this Pegasus which mainly affected your mobile phone means, so this Pegasus now it can intercept every call, every message that you're getting, and every email, and it will be monitoring each and every messaging app. So not only that, but even this Pegasus will have control over the camera, phone camera, microphone, and it will be also having access to the location data as well. And this one here is, so this the app advertises that can carry out file retriever. So for example, if you are downloading any file from the Google, that will be there in your files or documents, right? So here, whenever your mobile is attacked with this Pegasus, so it will be also carry this file retrieval. That means it could have even access to any document that a target might have stored in their phone. For example, if you are storing any data on your phone, so this Pegasus, it will be having the file retrieval. So because of all these 3 reasons, yes, we can say this Pegasus, it is a lethal. Because if you see in our mobiles, in our documents, so we will be having some important documents, some personal documents will be there. So in this way, it will be affecting the right to privacy as well. So now let us try to see what are the checks and balances that came up by other countries. So I'm not talking about India's specific case studies here. So I'm going to talk about what are the checks and balances that came up by other developed countries in the world. So if we're talking about this New South Wales Law Reform Commission 2005 itself, so they established the Office of Privacy Commissioner with inspectors to investigate the complaints. To investigate regarding these complaints, they came up with this Privacy Commissioner with inspector, that too in way back in 2005 itself. And this one here is United Nations. So United Nations also contributed to development of a legal framework, okay, that is called as no secret rules. So for this, government mainly said that if you want to do any surveillance, okay, and that surveillance in the name of that to be in the name of national interest. And if you're talking about European Court of Human Rights, which mainly said that here, if you want to go for any surveillance, that should not undermine democracy. So these are some important things which mainly said by this European Court of Human Rights. And this one here is Winnie's Commission report of 2015. So in this report, it mainly talks about right to privacy. So right to privacy framework was not good enough in the evolving context of long-term societal harm. Okay, so this Winnie's Commission report which says that right to privacy framework was not good enough in evolving context of long-term societal harm. So here what happened, yes, if you're talking about right to privacy, okay, and one on another side if you're talking about access to information. So what happened, this right to privacy framework, it was not good enough in the evolving context. Yes, in the future that we are going to get the many threats. And next one here is independent control and oversight is very necessary. So if you are having the access to information which is private, then what happens? Yes, we need independent control and we need independent oversight regarding the issue. For example, it should control executive, parliamentary oversight, judicial review, oversight of expert bodies, etc. So in this way here, these were some reforms which were mainly taken by the Europe 7 years ago. Okay, now we have to also come up with some type of this type of measures on these lines which are come up by other countries, how they are protecting the data, how they are securing this right to privacy, etc. So we need to also take some steps. So we're talking about dysfunctions created by this Pegasus, how this Pegasus is creating dysfunctions. So if you're talking about especially challenges, so first one is privacy breach. So whenever any mobile phone which is affected by this Pegasus, and now here hackers, they will be having access to the mobiles, right? So because of this, it will be affecting the right to privacy, okay, and even freedom to speech under Article 19 of Indian Constitution. And this one here is, it will also leads to curbing dissent. So it reflects disturbing trend with regard to use of hacking software against dissidents and adversaries. In 2019 also Pegasus software was used to hack HR and as well as Dalit activists. Okay, it will be also curbing this dissent. And this one here is, yes, we need to focus on even individual safety as well. So in the absence of privacy and safety of journalists, especially those who work, okay, those who work and those who criticize the government, criticize the policies of the government and personal safety of the people, right? So here, yes, individual safety of this journalist is also very, very important. And next one here is self-censorship. So consistent fear over espionage may cripple individuals. So because of this, it will be also having some impact on the ability to express, ability to receive and ability to discuss some ideas. And next one here is state-sponsored mass surveillance. So here the spyware which coupled with artificial intelligence that will have an ability to manipulate digital content in user smartphones. So yes, if you are having spyware which attacked your mobile phone means, so it will be controlled like artificial intelligence that will be used. So because of this, yes, there will be some manipulation of digital content that mainly seen, okay, in users of these smartphones. And this one here is, it is also having threat to national security as well. Okay, so this is about this topic in detail. And now let us try to see next topic. So this topic which is talking about floods and force. So this article which is especially talking about India-Pakistan relations. And this topic is important from your GS paper 2 under international relations. And this topic is important from your mains point of view. And even we can add dimension of geography. Why this year monsoon which brought a heavy rainfall in this Pakistan region. And even you can also add our one more dimension here is economy point of view, as I said in our yesterday's lecture. So now let us try to see this editorial in detail. So here our Prime Minister, he tweeted on expressing some condolences to the victims of the flooding in this Pakistan. So as you all know, like more than 1,000 people, they lost their life in this floods in Pakistan, and we can see there was heavy rainfall in this Pakistan that was recorded, right? So in this context, our Prime Minister, he tweeted expressing some condolences to the victims of the flooding in Pakistan, and it is also a welcome gesture, especially after weeks of silence over what has been one of the worst natural disasters in this neighborhood in the recent times. So in the recent times, yes, actually the rainfall in this region will be like 44%, but now it was like 138%. So there is a lot of heavy rainfall that experienced in this Pakistan, and that led to floods. So because of this floods, that led to increasing of toll. So more than 1100 people, they have lost their life, and over 33 million people, they have been affected. Okay, so this is the data regarding this recent impact of Pakistan floods. So floods also have been affected the standing crops and as well as the waters recede. So because of this, there is also a fear of disease, especially whenever there is floods happening. So contamination of water will be there. So because of this contamination of water, that will lead to some waterborne diseases, some communicable diseases. So whenever there is a floods, yes, there will be also some threat from this communicable disease that will be transmitting fastly from one person to another person. So because of this affecting the standing crops, so we can see there is also food shortage. So food shortage is also seen. And if you are talking about this devastating floods which had been caused because of this climate change. So from since last 2 or 3 decades, there is no good rainfall in this Pakistan, but now suddenly there is heavy rainfall that's seen in this year. So because of this, we can say it is one of the sign of this climate change. So it is a very much important, and it is also worry for South Asian region. Okay, and it's one of the world's regions most vulnerable to the global warming. So because of this, it is also one important sign of this climate change. And if you are moving to another dimension here, so United Nations Secretary General also launched a global appeal for aid, that is to help this Pakistan. And this Pakistan, which mainly hit by monsoon on steroids, indicating that because of unnatural climate patterns, so there is a heavy rainfall which recorded in this Pakistan. So here in this context, UK and as well as US, China, UAE, Qatar and Turkey, they already dispatched some help to this Pakistan, and many other countries they also promised to help to this Pakistan. And even International Monetary Fund, which announced like $1.1 billion bailout tranche to this Pakistan on this Tuesday. Okay, so if you're talking about what is the recent development in India and Pakistan relations, so in today's lecture we studied that the Pakistan's finance minister, he announced that we are going to uplift ban on trade between India and Pakistan, and we are going to have some imports from this India to Pakistan, for example cotton, sugar and as well as food grain import. Okay, so why there is a stalling of trade between India and Pakistan? Because of this Jammu and Kashmir reorganization in year 2019. And now they said that they are going to import some vegetables, some food grains, essential commodities, sugar and as well as cotton. So here in this way here, Islamabad, that is the Pakistan capital, which has only made exceptions for this pharmaceutical imports. So during this COVID-19 period, yes, in this 2020, especially they came up with the lifting of ban on this pharmaceutical imports, but not on the other trade between India and Pakistan. So despite the poor state of India-Pakistan ties, so both New Delhi and Islamabad, so they must put aside their domestic considerations and they have to help this stranded people in this flooding. Okay, so this is about details regarding this topic, and this is some gist of this topic. So now let us move on to next topic. It is regarding Special Marriage Act of 1954. So actually this act which has seen in the news from since last 4 months onwards. So now once again let us try to see this topic. So this will be helpful for your revision. So if you are talking about context, why it is in news. So Supreme Court dismissed a writ petition challenging provision of this Special Marriage Act of 1954 requiring the couples to give a notice declaring their intent to marry 30 days before their marriage. So especially section 5 and section 6 of this Special Marriage Act of 1954, which mainly talks about, yes, if any couple they want to go for marriage, so they have to declare, okay, they have to give a notice in the marriage office or register office, then that should be like before 30 days of marriage. So here one writ petition said that this section it should be cancelled. So what is the writ? So whenever the fundamental rights of people they are mainly taken away, or whenever there is any violation of this fundamental rights of people, yes, they will be having writ. Okay, so they can move on to High Court and Supreme Court directly with the writ. So there are 5 writs: habeas corpus, mandamus, certiorari, prohibition, and as well as quo warranto. So these are the 5 writs. So let me know what are some differences between the writs of Supreme Court and High Court. So now let us try to see some facts regarding the Special Marriage Act of 1954. So this law or this legislation which made to validate and register interreligious and intercaste marriages. Okay, mainly to validate and register intercaste and as well as interreligious marriages. Yes, here this legislation which came into picture in year 1954. And this act which also allows the two individuals to solemnize their marriage through their civil contract. And under this, so there will be no religious formalities they are needed or to be carried out under this act. So this act includes Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Jains and as well as Buddhist marriages. And this act which applies not only to Indians who are residing in India, but even Indian nations who are living on abroad also. So this is about this topic. And if you're talking about what are the provisions which are mainly challenged, as I said here, section 5 and section 6 of the Special Marriage Act, they were challenged. So first one here is section 5. Section 5 which mandates that, so couple whenever they want to go for marriage, yes, they need to give notice of at least 30 days before the marriage. And this one here is section 6. So section 6 which requires such a notice to be then entered into the marriage notice book. So whenever details are entered into this marriage notice book, so they can be inspected by any person desirous of inspecting the same. So for those persons there will be given permission. So here there was 2 challenges, that is section 5 and section 6 need to be removed from this Special Marriage Act. So if you are talking about what are the issues with interfaith marriages. So interfaith marriage, they are believed to be forced conversions of one of the spouses. So mostly women, they will be changing their religion, they will be changing their caste. And next one is, as per the Muslim personal law, in order to get married to a non-Muslim, so conversion is the only way. So if I want to marry a Muslim person, yes, I have to convert into Muslim, and then only I can go for marriage with that so and so person. And if you're talking about Hindu religion, so Hindu religion allows only monogamy, that is only one marriage. So if you have already marriage done, so if you want to go for second marriage or the second time marriage, so here what happens, so there is no provision here. And next one here is, there is no provision regarding this caste determination of child born out of such marriages. So there is no determination of children, okay, caste of the so and so children. And next one here is Special Marriage Act of 1954. It is not compatible with the backwardness of the society. Okay, so these are some important issues. And if you're talking about what are the challenges regarding the laws which are present in India for this interfaith marriages. So if we're talking about the fundamental rights, we have Article 14, that is right to equality, Article 19, that is right to freedom and speech, freedom and the personal liberty. Article 21 talks about right to life and liberty. Article 25 talks about freedom of religion and right to life. And if you are talking about secularism, yes, in India, so we are following secularism and we say that all religions are equal before the eyes of law. And next one here is in India, interfaith marriages, they are allowed as constitution allows one to convert to a different religion from what one was born with, and further the personal laws of religion have provisions. So yes, our constitution also says that yes, we can go for interfaith marriages and we can also go for converting of one religion to another religion. Okay, so this is about this topic in detail. And now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding fake notes, okay, fake Indian currency notes. So this is according to report of NCRB, National Crimes Record Bureau. So this article is very important, and now let us try to understand this topic. And this article is important from your economy point of view, which comes under your GS paper 3. So if we're talking about context why it is in news, it says that nearly 60% of all fake notes which are seized in 2021, they were of rupees 2000 denomination. So as you all know, in India, highest denomination as of now here is 2000 rupees, right? So nearly 60% of the fake currency, which includes 2000 rupees notes, according to the data released by National Crime Record Bureau. So if we're talking about some more important details, it mainly says that of the fake Indian currency notes with a face value of 20.39 crores. So out of this, about 12.18 crores, they are mainly like denomination of 2000 rupees notes. So here new 2000 rupees notes and 500 rupees notes, they were introduced in year 2016, and we came with the scrapping of old currency of rupees 500, rupees 1000 rupees notes. They were scrapped by our union government. So at that time, the government said that curbing of these fake notes is one of the primary objective of this demonetization. So whenever government came up with this demonetization in the year 2016, so at that time here government said that the important and the sole objective of this demonetization, it is to curb this fake currency. But now, so what is the situation? Yes, there is increasing of fake currency. So in the post 2016, there has been an increase in the seizure of fake currency. So this is according to this NCRB portal or NCRB data. So highest recovery of this 2000 rupees notes which are fake, they are mainly come up from this Tamil Nadu, and second one is Kerala, and third one is AP, Andhra Pradesh. So here what is this fake currency? So fake currency is nothing but manufacturing of false currency, especially for the gain, and a kind of forgery in that something is occupied so as to defraud by passing its for the original as well as genuine article. So if you're talking about counterfeiting and as well as a fake, means nothing but, so we are coming up with the same currency but it is not authenticated. Okay, so this is simple. So if we're talking about what are the threats of this fake currency, so whenever this fake currency which is circulating in our economy, so it leads to the economic terrorism, okay, or economic terrorism. So fake Indian currency notes, they can be seen as a form of economic terrorism which may be practiced by external sources to damage India's economy. And this economic terrorism means nothing but it is like behind the scenes manipulation of national economy. So what happens? So if the state, if we want to control the state actors or non-state actors, yes, currency is very important. So because of this, they are coming up with this concept of this fake currency, and that will lead to economic terrorism in the country. And next one is inflation. So whenever people, they are having huge amount of money in their hands, yes, they will go to market and they will be placing the orders for the goods and services. So because of that, whenever there is increasing of currency in the people, yes, they will come forward to afford even for luxury goods. Okay, so because of this, there will be the inflation in the economy. And next one here is non-reimbursement of losses. So here the non-reimbursement policy of banks is another issue that occurs when bank reject the fake notes and do not reimburse the loss. Okay, and next one here is there is also loss of public confidence. So one important effort or effects of this counterfeit currency or the fake currency includes loss of public confidence and as well as black marketing of products and illegal stocking, etc. So this is about this topic. And now let us move on to the next topic. It is about World Bank report highlights pandemic purchase challenge. So it is mainly talking about some illegal goods or frauds which are mainly happen in this COVID-19 period. So this topic is also important from our security and as well as economy point of view. So if we're talking about why it is in news, so the COVID-19 pandemic devastation seemed to have not deterred fraudulent business practices. So even in this COVID-19 time also there is increasing of this fraudulent business practices. And what happened, Singapore, it is trying to dispatch millions of substandard Chinese KN95 masks to India in 2021. Okay, so in this way there were a number of frauds which happened during this COVID-19 period. So if we're talking about details, India, it is not only the target, but even US also got 200 million substandard and as well as second hand medical nitrile gloves, etc. And here World Bank and Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, that is AIIB, which jointly came up with this funded with this COVID-19 emergency response and health strengthening project. So the worth here is 1.5 billion. Okay. And if you're talking about some key highlights of this World Bank report, it says that. So this report says that here what happened during this pandemic, yes, India tried a lot and India managed to get many things right in its management of pandemic. Okay. So actually here Central Procurement Agency, that is HLL Lifecare Limited, which finalized in this February 2020, and here this HLL Lifecare Limited, which has some functions like they have to look over the procurement, they have to look over the preparation and as well as bidding documents, bidding evaluation and as well as award of the contract. So even it also helped in managing the supply chain to deliver commodities according to the needs of the states. According to the needs of the states, it will be also going for the managing of supply chain, especially to deliver these commodities. So actually here expert says that yes, here expert panel also put place to develop some specifications for overalls, for example goggles, 995 mask, etc. here. So even though there is some fraud which is mainly happening in India. And now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding Telangana tops inflation charts at 8.32%. So this article which is talking about just inflation. So this article is important from your economy point of view, which comes in your GS paper 3. And here we have to focus on what is this consumer price index. So this topic is important, okay, especially from your prelims. So now let us try to see context. So if you see context, it mainly says that India's retail inflation has been a bugbear for the economy since surged past 6% in January. So from January onwards, there is a high increasing of or rise of this inflation which is mainly seen. Okay, so here dozens of states, they are clocking an average inflation of less than 6% and another 12 states, they are averaging more than 7% through this 2022. Okay, so here context says that so here India's retail inflation is very high and it is increasing from January onwards. So it is not under the limit of 4 plus or minus 2. So it is mainly above 6%. So it is one of the cause of concern for the many states. So if you see details, so here headline inflation. So this inflation which mainly measured by consumer price index. And the average of CPI, it is about 6.8% in the first 7 months of this 2022. Okay, and what happened especially from the states like Telangana, West Bengal and as well as Sikkim, they are coming up with some policy measures to control this inflation. Okay, so if you're talking about some major states where there is a high rate of inflation, which mainly seen here is Maharashtra and Haryana with 7.7%, Madhya Pradesh 7.5%, Assam 7.3%, Uttar Pradesh 7.27%, Gujarat and Jammu and Kashmir 7.2%, so Rajasthan it is 7.1%. And the retail prices in the states, for example in states like Kerala, for example, it is like 4.8% of inflation, Tamil Nadu 5.01%, Punjab 5.35%, Delhi 5.56%, Karnataka it is 5.84%. So smaller states, for example Manipur, Goa, Meghalaya, they have had an average inflation of less than 4%. Okay, so this is about this topic. And now let's try to see what is this consumer price index. So if we're talking about consumer price index, so it will be mainly measuring the retail price in the market. So it may be released by NSO, National Statistical Office. So here this CPI calculates differences in the price of commodities and as well as services, for example food, for example medical care, education, electronics, etc. And if you're talking about the 4 types of this consumer price index, they include CPI for industrial workers, CPI for agricultural laborers, CPI for rural laborers and as well as rural, urban and combined. So out of these 4 types of the CPI, so first 3 they will be released by Labor Bureau, okay, and the 4th one it is by NSO in the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, that is nothing but MOSPI. So if we're talking about next topic, it is talking about leopard attacks man at the temple in AP. So in this article, yes, we need to focus on a human-animal conflict. So this topic is important from your GS paper 3 point of view, which comes under your environment and ecology. So if we're talking about context, why it is in news. So forest officials, they launched an operation to capture a leopard that attacked a devotee in Someshwara Swami temple, which is located in Andhra Pradesh. So we're talking about what is this human-animal conflict. So animals, they are coming into the human space and they will try attack humans. That is called as human-animal conflict. So there is one definition, you can also by heart it. So this human-animal conflict, it is a struggle that arises when the presence or behavior of wildlife poses actual or perceived direct recurring threats to the human interest and as well as needs of the humans. So that is called as human element conflict. So it will be having impact on the humans and even on the wildlife. So we are talking about what are the important reasons for this human-animal conflict. Yes, what happened earlier, the forest used to be present in this area, but we are going for the clearing of forest as well to increase our agriculture. So because of this, we can see there is a habitat loss is happening, and even whenever there is a growth of population in the wildlife, so they would not, if they are not getting the proper prey, there is a food, and they will be coming outside. And changing the crop patterns that attract wild animals to the farmlands, especially for the grazing purposes. And next one here is the movement of wild animals from forest area to human dominated landscapes for food and as well as fodder. So for the wild animals from the forest area to human dominated landscapes in search of food and as well as of fodder. So here wild animals, they are moving towards this human settlements, especially in search of water and as well as food. And this one here is movement of human beings into forest for illegal collection of forest produce. Especially you can talk about sandalwood, you can talk about honey, etc. So whenever we are going inside this forest, yes, they will be attacking us. And habitat destruction, because whenever we are going for any developmental projects, any roadways, railways, etc., yes, we need to go for clearing of forest. So that is also an important reason for this, okay, human wildlife conflict. And now let us try to see today's prelims question. The prelims question here is, Supreme Court of India has been assigned a very significant role in our Indian political system. So which are the following rules and functions of this, roles and functions of this Supreme Court? So first one is federal court, yes, of course, and it's the highest court of appeal, yes, and it's a guarantor of fundamental rights, yes, because of this article 32 that talks about writs. And this one here is, it is a guardian of constitution, yes. So that option is D, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so now let me make a small announcement. We in Rathod size, we came up with this prelims test series and as well as mains answer writing course. So this mains answer writing course, it is going to be started from September 5th. So please try to join that course, and if you have any queries, so call me on this number 8074765513. Okay, so now let us try to see today's newspaper PDF. This is our today's Hindu. So now let us try to see some important articles which are relevant. Okay, so the first article here you have to go through this is about NHRC, NCW and as well as personal law case. The Supreme Court, it is going to implead this NHRC case, NCW and as well as personal law case. So here 5-judge bench on Tuesday, they are going to take up this cases. So once the judgment is given, then we are going to get some articles. So there we are going to discuss that. So here you can see in Telangana tops inflation charts. I discussed this topic, and here you can see a flooded road in Bellandur following heavy rain in Bangalore. So here you have to know about urban floods and what are the reasons for this urban floods and what is the way forward. So if you are a district collector, so what are the steps that you are going to take in this situation? And if you move forward, there is nothing much important in this second page also. You can move on to this third page. So there is a gas leak happened and 34 people, they were hospitalized. So more than 30 people including an SDM and a DSP, they were hospitalized on Tuesday. Okay, so after they took ill following a chlorine gas leak which happened in the cylinder at a scrap go down. Okay, so what happened in one go down, there is releasing of this chlorine gas happened. So because of that, even SDM, SDM and as well as the DSP, they had been hospitalized. And if you see, there were some signs and symptoms after this leak were burning sensation in the eyes, nausea, difficulty in breathing, etc. Yes, you have to know about what is this chlorine poisoning. And in many times in many industries there is a releasing of gas which mainly happen, right? So even you can talk about Bhopal gas tragedy. So here what are the steps that can be taken and how can we control these industrial disasters? So this is also one point of concern. Okay, and if you move forward here in this page number 4, there is nothing much important, and you can go on to this page number, in this editorial page or in the states page, you can see flooded rivers keep Kerala on edge. So you have to see which are the rivers which are flowing in this Kerala, and even you have to know about the tributaries of those and dams which are present on that. And here you can see Pookalam, it is nothing but flower arrangement. So actually here the women, they are doing this because there is a beginning of this Onam festival. So you have to see what is this Onam festival. And leopard attacks man at temple in AP. So I discussed this topic. And if you move forward in this editorial page, so I discussed this article regarding India and Pakistan. So I discussed this topic of Pegasus, right? And if you move forward, so here there are some important things which are given, like, so what are the ways that are present for India for helping the Sri Lanka? So you can go to that once. And next one here is, so this data point which is talking about this road accidents, and this is one of the important leading cause for the death of the people. So the number of people they killed in road accidents in 2021, like more than 1,56,000 people, they had been lost their life. And so here you have to think about what are the reasons for this road accidents and what can be the measures taken. And if you move on to this text and context, here there is an article regarding ongoing political crisis in Iraq. So you can go to that once. And here I discussed about this Special Marriage Act of 1954. And if you move forward in this page number 14, China claims on Arunachal Pradesh outrageous. So what happened is, actually between India and China we have some issues. Okay, we have issues regarding the border. For example, western sector, central sector and eastern sector. So Arunachal Pradesh, which mainly comes to the eastern sector. So here if you move forward in this page number 15, so economist Abhijit Sen, he died at 72. So here you have to know about what are the contributions of this Abhijit Sen. So this might be important from your interview point of view. And here you can see West UP turns hotspot of cattle disease. So this article is also very important, and you can see about lumpy skin disease of cattle. And here you can see World Bank report highlights pandemic purchase challenge. I discussed this topic. And there is one more article that is about fake notes. I discussed this topic. And in the world page, here there is an article regarding Solomon Islands. You have to open your atlas and you have to see where is the Solomon Islands located, exact location. And if you go on to this business page, here you can see rupee gains 39 pies on this FPI inflows, dip in oil price. So these are some important articles that appeared in our Hindu newspaper. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. So please subscribe to Rathod's IAS Academy channel and hit the bell icon so that you will be getting regular notifications whenever we are uploading video. And if you want to get this PDF, you can visit our website, and the website link is given in description box. And we came up with this prelims and as well as mains answer writing course. So this will be very beneficial, especially for the beginners and as well as who are already started your preparation, already gave your attempts. So this will be very useful. So try to join these courses, and if you want to see the demo videos, you can see the 3 free demo videos in our website. Okay, and if you have any doubt, you can call me on this number 8074765513. Okay, so by this I'm concluding. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Thank you so much and have a nice day.